It's a privilege to be an athlete. It's a privilege to live your life as an athlete. It has its own difficulties. Right now, my goal is not to make big bucks. My goal is to become a top player, and I think one will follow the other. I definitely wish to break into the top 100. If I could make it close to top 80, that would be my ultimate goal for this year.
Hi guys, this is Abel Chalet, and this is the Padel Tech YouTube channel. And here we are in Budapest with Dora Andrejszki, one of the best Hungarian padel players, or we can say you are the best currently. You are the best Hungarian female padel players, right?
Yes, I can say that I'm the highest ranked right now on the FIP ranking. Thank you.
Tell me about yourself, please, your journey from tennis to padel, because as far as I know, you started with tennis, but right now you're absolutely focused on padel.
So I come to padel with a 20-year background of tennis. I started as a junior and then I played college tennis in the US. I have to say, padel was something completely unexpected. I'm a very, very competitive person. I moved home in 2020. That was the year when I learned about padel, that it even exists, with my current Hungarian partner and good friend Palma Juhász. We started to play together just for fun. I had the opportunity to play in a team event for the Hungarian team. They were short on a player, so I was basically a wildcard player just about 3 years ago. Then I started to take some lessons. I was invited to a couple more matches. And the better I became, the more I was thinking about taking it on a different level. And here I am today, quitting my job and just focusing on padel.
Yeah, I think that must have been such a great step, right? Because semi-professional player, like I think you were that time, like playing padel in your free time, maybe couple of matches, couple of trainings, but still you got a job that time. But then you decided to quit your job and became a professional player. Is that something that you will always consider as a turning point in your padel life when you quit the job?
Definitely. In my life in general, I have to say that anytime I make difficult decisions like this, because it was not an easy decision, but I knew it was for the best. When I'm able to make the decision, really a short time after, life tells me that it was a good decision and that I'm on the right path. And that's exactly how I felt. Because first I went from 40 hours to part-time, and then the company changed a little bit and I couldn't keep the same position. And then I was thinking maybe this is the time to go all in. Yeah, I have to say at the moment, I consider myself as a professional player. Maybe I'm not making a living yet, but I live as a professional and I do all the same things as a professional, and I'm really hoping to reach to the top.
The pro padel players right now are coming from tennis background, or they are only played padel in their lives, because I think for like an amateur player like me, it's good that I had some background with racket sports like tennis. But if you want to be a professional, like want to reach really the top, is it an advantage or not really that you played tennis before?
I think it's a mix right now, and I can mainly say something for the female players. It's a mix between ex-tennis players and completely padel players. There are some players who were professional tennis players and then turned to padel. There are some players who played a little bit of tennis and then switched to padel. And then the younger generation, they started with padel. I can say that for a big part of the game, it can be an advantage. And the other big part, it can be a disadvantage.
So if we're talking about like the technique, it's not good that you played tennis before, because the movement and everything is not the same. But yeah, what you're saying is like moving on a court and like concentrating and the reflexes and things like that. That's maybe the good part of being an ex-tennis player, right?
Yes, and also I know it's doubles only, but for example, I think, a better doubles player than a singles player. I did enjoy doubles more than singles back in the days. And I think in padel, I have a big advantage of having good tennis volleys and changing them into padel volleys. So yes, I had to work a lot on changing my technique, but the attacking mindset and being comfortable to be at the net, I think it's a very, very important thing. And the more experience I have with playing good matches, the more I'm comfortable with changing the rhythm, with kind of mixing my shots, and I stopped playing tennis. Like, I don't go to play for fun anymore. I do miss it a little bit, but now when I have the time to work on my paddle strokes, then that's all I really worry about.
Yeah, so now we just came back to the subject of being a professional, right? How hard is it?
You know, it's an interesting thing because I think it's a privilege to be an athlete. It's a privilege to live your life as an athlete. It has its own difficulties. As I told you earlier, I'm not making a living yet. Right now, my goal is not to make big bucks. My goal is to become a top player, and I think one will follow the other. But really, the center of my attention is improving, playing a lot of matches, reaching Premier Padel, and becoming a player that maybe also the audience, but my environment and other players prefer to play with.
That's cool, because one side of padel is like enjoying the game and another part is like winning, actually.
Yes.
But in the same time, you said you spend more right now than you earn, right? So right
Correct.
now it's a negative balance at the end of the year, but you wanted to like change it to the positive one. So how hard is it? If I can ask you.
Right now, some tournaments are negative, some tournaments are already a little bit even. So I have high hopes. This year, the system changed a little bit regarding prize money and the point system, which I believe it helps the lower level players a little bit more in a way that it's more appealing to play the tournaments, and the top players have to work just a little bit harder to stay on top. But it's also a little bit more difficult regarding the lower level tournaments, because now the top players can also enter, and if they win a lower level tournament, it's almost the same point or even more points than playing first or second round in a premier tournament. So I'm happy about it. I think it's a very diverse way of thinking with the players, because as you saw, there was a boycott with the men's players in the top 100. I can understand. I'm very happy that now I don't have to wish to always participate in Premier to play like top 50 players. So for my level and for my improvement, I think it's a key that now it's easier to reach these kind of players. It's nice that I can introduce myself as a Hungarian player, and still there are a lot of players on tour who are very surprised and excited that, oh my God, I didn't even know people played paddle in Hungary. So it's nice. It's a good mix. I'm happy with things at the moment, and I'm really, really working on trying to stay in the moment. I have a very high standard for myself, and I have difficult goals until the end of the year. But if I don't reach them, I know that I'm still on the right path.
So can you tell me about your goals?
I definitely wish to break into the top 100. I know a lot of players would like to do the same thing, so it's not an easy ride. I know a lot of players are working very, very hard. If I could make it close to top 80, that would be my ultimate goal for this year.
I wish you luck with that. But
Thank
maybe
you.
not luck. I wish you more training, more competition.
Thank you.
More work, more hard work, right?
Yes.
Absolutely. Okay, but we talked about padel as a sport already. Can padel be an Olympic sport soon? What's your opinion?
I think definitely yes. Not exactly sure which year, but since the sport is booming like crazy and it's a very, very likable sport, I think it's a very eye-attracting sport for the audience. I definitely think that it will become eventually an Olympic sport. I would love to have the opportunity to represent Hungary, but a lot of things are out of my control regarding this. I hope, and I know that the International Padel Federation is working very hard to make this dream of the players and the dream of themselves come true. Yeah, I mean, I know there are a lot of curriculum that a sport has to reach and meet to be able to participate at the Olympics. I think it's not very far for padel.
Let's hope for the best, right? Yeah. If you're talking about the game itself, you think padel is an indoor or an outdoor sport? Because I know you have quite an opinion about that.
Yes, a lot of players prefer to play indoors. For the competition itself and for like a laboratory kind of play, I agree. It's quite nice when there's no wind, there's no sun, and you can just really focus on your game, and there are no crazy conditions that you have to really adapt to. I think as a hobby sport, and I think it's more like a mindset, I really prefer to play outdoors. I think it can make a big change, and maybe the levels can go a little bit closer when there's a higher level and lower level team playing against each other in crazy wind or really crazy heat or with the sun. I think it can be very interesting to see which team can adapt to these conditions a little bit better, and how they can deal with these conditions, how the game can change, and what can be the ultimate strategy. So maybe I'm alone in this. I hope not, but I really prefer playing outside.
You mentioned like the hobby part of padel, and you also give lessons to like amateur, semi-amateur players as well. This is something like what you want to share from your knowledge to other players, or this can be a bit like, you know, balancing your income, or both?
It's kind of both. I used to coach a lot of tennis, and I really enjoyed working with lower level players, especially. I was a hitting partner for like high performance kids, but what I really like about it is to quickly see the improvement, and going from one step to the other might take a while in terms of quality. But when one of my players like slowly starting to understand one concept and then another, I think it's very rewarding. And sometimes I get nice text messages after just really an amateur tournament, like, hey, today my forehand volley to the middle worked. And I was like, okay, that's amazing. Like, people care, and there are a lot of players who start playing padel for fun, like 40, 50 plus, and they want to learn, and they're willing to learn the right technique, and they're willing to learn the right way to play. And I really enjoy it. And if it's 1 hour a week, I'm happy. If it's 10 hours a week, I'm happy. So there's no preference in this. It's more about me trying to share my knowledge. And to be honest, there's also a lot that I can still learn. So I think it's a nice balance.
Talking about technology, AI, and gadgets and things like that is coming into the sport right now. So do you use anything like analyzing your game? Do you use any sensors or something like that? Or you think that the sport should invent more into this kind of gadgets and things?
I don't use anything at the moment, but I always find it interesting if anybody approaches me and gives me all the data about my match. And maybe not just about my match, but about my training, like the intensity, the accuracy of my shots, and those kind of things, especially with padel and with the glass being around and the fence. And I feel like there are endless opportunities of how and where to hit the ball. So I definitely think this is something interesting and the players could really benefit out of.
Do you think right now the top players, they are using this kind of analysis of the matches?
Definitely. I feel like they must. It's probably not themselves, it's more about the team behind them who provides the data that they can afterwards go and accomplish and work on and really work on their weaknesses and strengths. Because I think it's very important to think about strengthening your strengths and not just like getting better at your weak spots. I think most of the time the coaches put a crazy amount of work into analyzing matches. So maybe this could actually help the coaches work a lot more than the players, because when you're up there, you have to go and play and do your best, and it's a nice, I wouldn't call it luxury, but I know the difference when I have a coach with me for the tournament and when I don't. So yeah, I definitely think this could help a lot of people.
What's your favorite shot? And tell me about your racket, please.
Okay, so I prefer to play on the left side at the moment. That's where I compete. and my favorite shot is the rouleau. I think I do a nice job with it, and I can manage to hit it from different spots of the court. So yeah, that's my favorite one. And I currently joined the Knox team.
Okay, and you got the racket just over there?
Yes, it's the AT10 Genius by Augustin Tapia. This is not the racket that Augustin is playing with at the moment. It's a very, very nice racket. It has quite a big sweet spot, so for me to make the right contact, it's not very difficult. It's about 366 grams, not too head heavy, easy to maneuver from the glass when defending. Yeah, I would say that it's definitely the best racket that I've ever played with. I'm very happy with it. It took me a while to find it, and I tested a bunch of different rackets. I got a lot of recommendations. I'm very happy with it, and I hope to continue with the Knox family for a while.
Why and how should someone who's like an amateur player like me choose the racket? How do you know that this is the racket you want to use and you should use?
Well, I always recommend that players talk with their coaches or with a coach who sees them quite often, and recommend a few rackets to the player to try. I would never pick from the web a racket that's pretty. I would always say, like, you must try it. And I believe that most of the online stores, even, they have a good test racket program. So definitely try before using. Try all your different shots, from the volley to the defense to the smash, and whatever adapts to your game the best. I mean, if you're a very defensive player and you're not comfortable at the net yet, I would never recommend the head-heavy racket. But if you are crazy good with your overheads and you like a little extra power and you can maneuver, then go for something that's a little bit heavier. But yeah, always ask your coach and try like 3 to 5 different rackets.
Let's talk about your routines, okay? So what's your daily routine look like if you're in a tournament and you're gonna like preparing for a match, and what you do if you're not in a tournament but still playing padel and like training for the tournament?
There isn't a big difference. I really like to keep my routine simple and almost the same. Well, number one is sleep. I think it's the best if I get about 8 hours of sleep. If it's between 7 and 8, I'm already coping very well with it, but it makes a big difference for me. Like if I don't get a good sleep the night before, then maybe for one day I'm okay, but the next day I can definitely feel it.
But this must be heavy if you're traveling a lot, like flights and everything, hotel rooms.
Yes, I am very fortunate because I'm a good sleeper. I just need to manage to be in bed on time. So sleep is number one. I'm big on breakfast. I like to make a good egg breakfast for myself with some toast, sometimes some avocado. During the day, I like to have some fruit as snacks. And I would say I'm also very fortunate with my body type, because I didn't always have to take crazy good care of what exactly I eat. Now I look at the things what I eat. For example, like the day before or the day of my match, I'm not gonna go for a pizza. Pizza is gonna be something more like, I'm on a holiday, I'm resting for 2 more days. Okay, today maybe I can eat something like that. But yeah, I'm really trying to stay away from trash food. I like to arrive early before my training. Some foam rolling, some stretching, a good warm-up that helps my body to get moving. On the days when I'm not training, I also do a lot of foam rolling and trying to stay active. So when I'm resting, I'm going for a walk, I'm doing something with the family, just like not staying at home and doing a whole lot of nothing. I do watch a lot of paddle. So I'm trying to watch the pros as much as possible. And on match days, for example, I like to arrive at least an hour before my match. Hitting before the match or having like a racket and ball warm up is not necessarily something that I need to do for a very long time. If I can hit for 15-20 minutes, I prefer that. And if I can do a good 30-minute stretching beforehand, yeah, that's probably how I would say that it's the best for me.
And after the match?
Stretching, a lot of stretching and foam rolling, and I use elastic bands for the warm-up, and then after the match, I just keep it cool and calm. And yeah, it's very, very important to take my time and not rush and not say like, okay, I stretch a little bit and then I shower and I stretch later at the hotel. I think then it's not the same quality, and then most players kind of forget about it. I think it's important to take care of our bodies because that's what we need the most, and our minds. But I think the two things definitely connect to one another. And yeah, being in bed on time is crucial. Even if I'm not falling asleep at 10 o'clock, but just relaxing and putting together what I might do the next day is important to stay in the present and not worry too much about how much sleep I get. If I'm in bed on time, I think I can have a good next day.
Thank you for watching this video. Here you can subscribe to our channel. And here are our two latest videos, one up here and another one here. Don't forget to like this video as well, share it with your friends, and follow us every time, everywhere.